What is up, beautiful people? DH here. I wanted to share in a more expansive way what going from head to heart is, and really getting into our heart. Like, what does that mean? I think sometimes in the spiritual community, or the communities that I would call spiritual, we say this as if everybody knows what that means. Even myself, I've said it. I've said it based on a feeling that I have experienced. It's almost a shift in consciousness or a shift in awareness, whatever you can understand. It's almost that aha moment. And when you start to feel intuitively, start to feel the energy within you start to come up and overcome and overtake the behavior. And many times you have shifted from head to heart. Our mind, we've been told throughout at least my life, is that our mind is what we should be working on. The mind is the strongest muscle. The mind is what we need to try to solve. And our mind has its purpose, and it's good at very, very many things, and it is very intricate. But from a feeling standpoint, that's within us. And I talk all the time about the answers are within. They really are. And when we start pouring into our inner growth, our inner expansion, our inner awareness, our inner acceptance, everything outside of us changes. Everything. Our awareness towards the non-physical, our relationships, our physical body, our wellness, how we're showing up to the world, our gifts that we start to express are more free and more fluid and more aligned and more peaceful and more genuine and more sincere and more us. Because ultimately, isn't that our goal? Is to be us, our divine self, our authentic self? Because we are the only one of us, right? We're the only one of us in the universe right now. So it's our job, duty, responsibility to uncover all of our gifts. Uncover all of our gifts, and whether we share them or not, we will feel. It's called alignment. And so going from head to heart, how can we shift if we've constantly always been on like a personal growth standpoint? We've constantly been wanting to become smarter and more intelligent, more comprehensive, more of an intellect. How do we go into our heart center, our heart space? There's many ways to do this, and I'll share at least what my experiences were that really helped me get into heart. One, first and foremost, is to clear out the clutter of your life. Clear out all of the distractions. Clear out all of the things that are no longer serving you. People, place, things, ideas. It's just like clearing your home, clearing your junk drawer, cleaning out your garage, minimalizing and simplifying life so you can start seeing the space that you just forgot was there. Think of our emotional and our energetic body. It's just dense, right? For me, I'm 40 years old. I've got 40 years of human experience latched onto me, How can I clear it off to start with a clean slate each day or each moment? It's very simple. It's daily activities that will help, but I believe cleaning out the emotional clutter, cleaning out the physical clutter, cleaning out your financial clutter, cleaning out your relationships, all these things that are prohibiting us because they're stuck in our head, money issues, relationship problems, intimacy problems, parenting problems, it's all family problems, past relationship problems, other people's relationship problems, politics, gossip, all these things are jading our vision. They're blocking us, so we can't see anything with our eyes, let alone see with our heart. Because if this is all blocked up, how are we supposed to feel intuitively? Because we're constantly distracted. We're constantly being brought into this world, the human world. And so hopefully everybody can understand that there's a physical and there's a non-physical. That which cannot be touched and smelt and tasted. Okay? That's the observer behind this, right? It's your consciousness. It's your essence. However you look at it, right? It's what we are. So the activities that we can do to activate that, nature is one of them. First and foremost, minimalizing, simplifying the life that you have around you. Your car should be clean and simple. Your bed should be made clean and simple. Your room should be clean, and simple. It should not have stuff and clutter. Think of it, it's like the walls caving in on you, right? So if your room is like that, how's the living room? How's the dining room? How's the kitchen? How are all your walls? Is all of that just telling you old stories? Old pictures, old books, old dressers, old china cabinet with glasses and plates and stuff that's never used. It just takes up the whole freaking wall. All of that stuff has energy in it, and it's weighing you down from your expansion, from coming into your true awareness, into this present moment. Is we drag our, it's like we're Santa Claus with the huge bag, but we just carry all of our junk around. From every year, we just carry it around and we drop it in the corner, and it inhabits. It like sprinkles like ants all through the newness. Clear it out. The second is connecting with nature. Nature is life. Nature is life constantly giving. It's constantly giving to us as humans, constantly giving, showering us with love and life force energy, whether it's the flowers, the trees, the wind, the rivers, the ocean, the rain, the snow, the wildlife, all the little organisms, insects, and creatures that inhabit this earth with us that are not here to harm us. They're here to show us life force energy and frequency. And so we go and we receive that. We have to be open to receive. And as we feel more connected to nature, as we feel more connected to all the other living things on this planet, our heart starts opening. We start feeling more connected to those living things, to where we're not so eager to smash the spider in the house who just got lost. We're not so eager to shoot the rabbit that may be outside that was eating some of your plants. Little things like that. Nature is the greatest activator, and it's relatively free. We just have to look up from our screens and connect with it. And then as we receive, we give back. And as nature raises our vibration, we give back. And we start carrying a light. You ever heard someone say, wow, you're feeling really light today. I can see your radiance. Yeah, because we're radiating, we're exhibiting that light from inside out. And it's like shining a light in a dark room. You know those people. You know those people that have that frequency that you just feel really good around them. You just want to be around them. It's not even anything that they may say or do. It's just like in their presence, you're just like, wow, I feel good. I feel good. What if all of us were like that, right? Raising the vibration. The other one is like really, and my point about the physical and non-physical is we want integration. Let's say you go and you meditate on a rock, or you go for a hike and you all of a sudden are like, whoa, I don't know what happened on that hike, but I'm feeling like so like alive and lively. I'm like, some of these problems I just like solved on my walk or whatever. How do we integrate that into our normal life? That's where the shift in what we're putting in, it changes. Because as we clear out the density, as we clear out the clutter of our emotional, our physical, our spiritual body, we have space. Now we're open and we're hungry. For me, my journey, I went to Costa Rica. I completely bounced from this country, my state, my network, everything that I knew, I just bounced out. The only people I knew was my ex-wife and my kids, and we did something for 2 years that was completely new, but that was a detoxification for me. And so maybe sometimes it's changing geographic locations. Maybe it's time to move into a different home. Maybe it's time to move to a different city. Maybe it's time to try a different gym. Maybe it's time to get a different wardrobe, a different pair of shoes, let go of the old high school shirt that you wear all the time. Those frequencies they're big, but they're dramatic in the sense of they condense the timeline of how long it takes to really open your heart and live in your truth. And sometimes radical change is what you need. For me, that's what I needed. So with that clearing the clutter out, I didn't bring my whole 37-year-old life with me to Costa Rica. I left it all to create something in the present, to create new. In addition to that, moving forward here, is the third one would be the things that we put into that now open space are what fuels the next chapter of our journey. It moves us forward. It's progressive. It's momentum building. The books that you're reading, the audiobooks that you're listening to, the documentaries or the YouTube videos, the TED Talks that you're watching, they are replacing something. There's an exchange. For me, I got rid of, I would say 90% sports. That would be the stuff that I was watching and listening to and talking to. Now, I still love watching LeBron James. It's been 18 years I've been watching him. So eventually that will phase out. It's already phased out. You know, I like watching football, but now I only watch one game, one team. If I can find it. It's not even like my whole day it used to revolve around it. It's an exchange. The books that I'm reading, they're not always about leadership like they were. Like my last company was a direct sales company, and we were growing a business and organization and leading people, and I wanted to learn how to lead and be an effective leader and stuff like that. Now they're shifting to spiritual development, you know, finding oneness or finding truth or mastery of self or, you know, higher consciousness or finding answers within. They could be stories, shamanic stories, whatever, the power of now, a new earth, you know, pretty much anything by Wayne Dyer. They're contemplative. They made me think like, whoa, this is like a different language, but my heart was receiving it and I knew I was ready. So that's the type of stuff that can really help flush things out. So we're not constantly in waiting mode. We're not in procrastination mode. And I think as humans, we procrastinate. You know, if you ever have someone ask you, or you ask someone, you know, what do you really love? What do you like really love? Now, I'm not talking about your kids and your family. I'm like, what really, like, what drives you? Like, what's beyond what you do? What just like lights you up to where you feel weightless and free and light? And then following up on that, it's like, well, are you doing that? Are you enjoying that? Is that something that you actively pursue in your day-to-day basis? And many times it's not. It's not. And then you can ask why. It's because the clutter has not been cleared. You know, I still have to pay my bill. I'm stuck in this. I got to pay my bills. I've got, you know, take the kids to practice. And that's all fine. But until we start feeding the spiritual body, the non-physical, the thing that really gets us, we'll feel kind of stuck and trapped. We'll feel kind of stuck and trapped. So getting into heart, it takes clearing out the clutter to where you start feeling intuitively, and then you start gravitating, law of attraction. You start gravitating and attracting the things that raise your frequency today. Because as you grow out of things that used to raise your frequency, when you're 25 years old, going out and drinking and having a good time and partying and maybe hooking up with a girl, or maybe just like, you know, playing poker all night, or maybe it's whatever it is that raised your vibration at that point in time, it expires and then you come into newness. But what we do many times as humans, especially in the society, is we bring it all with us, and then we only have a little pieces of the newness. And then we're riddled with expectations and stuff like that. But getting into our heart center, I mean, you can look at meditations, you know, how to get into my heart center, you know, how to activate my heart chakra, which is just your energy centers in your body. If you don't know anything about those, look them up. And there's some simple diagrams that like help us understand. And so if you think of an energy system or energy centers, think of our body having 7 of them. You want them open and free. You want the energy to flow. This isn't even like deep. You just want the energy to flow. If there's blockage in any of it, then you're out of alignment. It's like you're busting at the seams in some way. It's like having a gaping wound and putting a Band-Aid on it. That's not going to heal that. So getting into our heart, it starts with the openness to desire it, the awareness that I really want to, and then once that inner world starts changing, the outer world starts changing. When your heart starts opening, you start seeing love in all. You start seeing unconditional love in all. You start looking people in the eyes, like deep into their soul, and you're like, wow, I don't think I've ever looked at this person. I think I've just seen the avatar, the costume, the role that they're playing. I don't think I've ever really dropped in and connected with the soul, the heart. When you start feeling that connection, you start seeing people completely different. These could be people that you've seen your whole life. This could be your partner, your children, your parents. When you connect into that level of consciousness, it's like, whew, it's powerful. It's powerful. And that will start happening as you start going through these processes, and stop holding yourself back. Stop prohibiting yourself from being your full expression, which can be really, really scary. And major change may occur in your life. Major change may occur in your life in order for you to reach your transformation. but don't be fearful of it. There's no way to fear becoming your truth. We cannot fear being ourself, and not just the human, the full expression. The full expression, and that's where euphoria is. That's where everything you start touching is light. It starts turning into gold. To where we're not so focused on what we used to focus on, that used to weigh us down. And transformation is within us. It's waiting on us. We came here with a purpose, to live on purpose. We came here on purpose. Why did we come? Why are we here? Is it just to be one of those roles that you may play in your life? Or is it to find the little glimmer of light, the twinkling inside of you, the faith, the excitement about really, really being free? Really, really being free, without the fear of judgment of any and all, without the fear of judgment, because that will not serve us. That will prohibit us. So always ask, is this fear or love? Is this fear or love? And the more that we go towards the direction of love, the more our heart will open. The more that we go in the direction of fear, the more our mind will be in control. And that's not what it's meant to be. So I know this was kind of bouncing to different places. I do an energy training. It's called the Pie Way. It's basically just a pie chart. I've talked about it before. But if you think of that pie chart in 4 quadrants, 3 major quadrants, and this will help you if you can look at where your energy is today. The 3 major quadrants, I believe, are nature, self, and service. And then you can define those, what nature, self, and service means. The other one is all of the other stuff that occupies our energy. And that should be the minority, not the majority. And that consists of all kinds of things. It could be, your domesticated stuff, paying the bills, taking kids to parks and sports. It could be going to work. It could be gossip. It could be pandemic. It could be other people's relationships. It could be social media. It could be grocery shopping. All of the other rudimentary stuff that we have, is our responsibility, but we allow it to occupy our energy. Elections. So what happens is that little one down here ends up taking up the 3 major ones, and the one ends up being nature, self, and service, which cannot overpower the overwhelming energy that we absorb from the things that don't really matter. They don't really matter. So hopefully this was helpful. I know this was long. If you've watched this far, I love you. You are a blessing, and I send many, many blessings to every and all being that's watching this. Thank you for allowing me to express whatever was coming through that I needed to share on a video on this little phone that's looking at me, and hopefully it can help people open their heart a little bit more. So collectively, in unity, we can continue to raise the vibe on Mother Earth. Peace.